Here we go. Another story about a man who seems to overlook a few red flags because of his wife's job. Never thought I'd be writing this crap, but here I am at 3 in the morning. Can't sleep. The kids are at my mom's house, and I'm sitting in what used to be our living room, trying to make sense of everything. Maybe putting it down will help. Maybe someone else going through this will read it and not feel so alone. I don't know. My wife cheated on me. Ex-wife now, I guess. Still getting used to saying that. We were together for 12 years, married for 9. I met her at a bar in college. She was laughing with her friends and had this smile that just lit up the whole room. It took me 3 beers to work up the courage to talk to her. Best decision I ever made. Well, now I'm not so sure. We had a good thing. Built a life together. Bought a house in a decent neighborhood. Had 2 kids. My daughter's 7 now, and my son's 5. I'm an electrician, and she teaches 4th grade at the elementary school. I am starting to hear teachers are just as bad as nurses and flight attendants, according to my audience. But I am going to say, I know not all nurses, flight attendants, and teachers are cheaters. Just saying. We had a solid middle-class life. We were not rich, but we were comfortable. We took family vacations, had date nights, the whole 9 yards. I thought we were happy. I did. I really didn't see any cracks in our relationship. Looking back now, I can see when things started changing. It was probably around last fall, maybe October. She started staying after school more often. Said she was helping struggling kids with reading, grading papers, and preparing lesson plans for the next day. Made sense to me. Teaching is a tough job, especially with all the extra stuff they pile on teachers these days. But she started acting different, more distant. You hear what he said? Her demeanor started shifting. Now, in some cases, this is where men miss some of these red flags because they may be subtle. It used to be that she'd come home from work and we'd talk about our days while making dinner together. She'd tell me about her students, which parents were being difficult, all that stuff. Then suddenly she'd come home and just say she was tired, go take a shower, scroll on her phone during dinner. I figured it was just stress, so I tried to pick up more slack at home. I did more of the cooking, handled bedtime routines with the kids more often, and took over most of the weekend chores. Thought I was being supportive. You see what he did? He wrote off the shift in her demeanor due to her job, thinking maybe that might be the cause. To be fair, in some cases, might be. What a damn idiot I was. The phone thing should have been a red flag. My wife was never one of those people glued to their phone. She'd leave it in the kitchen charging and forget to check it for hours. But around November and December, that phone was practically attached to her hand. She was always texting during dinner, taking it to the bathroom, and sleeping with it on her nightstand instead of the charging station in the kitchen like she used to. When I asked who she was texting, she said it was her sister, her friend Lacey, or someone from work about scheduling. Always had an answer ready. Then there was a gym membership. In January, out of nowhere, my wife announces she wants to get back into shape. So if she did this out of nowhere, there are only 2 motivating factors I can think of why she suddenly wanted a gym membership. 1, she wanted to genuinely get in shape, or 2, for someone else's eyes, not for her husband. She says she's feeling sluggish and wants to set a good example for the kids. She signs up for this fancy gym on the other side of the city, starts going like 4 to 5 times a week, before work, after work, weekends. Now, my wife's always been beautiful, like way out of my league beautiful, but she's never been big on working out. We talk about getting gym memberships every new year like everyone else, but it never stuck. So when she suddenly became this fitness enthusiast, I was actually proud of her, encouraging even. Told her I'd handle dinner and bedtime on her gym nights. God, I was such a damn fool. The clothes started changing too. She always dressed nice for work, professional but comfortable clothes for teaching. But she started buying new workout clothes, expensive stuff, Lululemon, Nike, brands she'd never cared about before, sports bras that cost more than my work shirts. She said she deserved to treat herself and that good workout clothes motivated her. I didn't question it. Why would I? My wife wanted to get healthy and feel good about herself. What kind of asshole would I be to complain about that? Valentine's Day was weird. We didn't make a big deal about it, nothing crazy expensive, but thoughtful stuff. I got her a necklace with the kids' birthstones, made dinner reservations at this Italian place we went to on our first date. She got me a card, said she forgot to get me anything else because work had been so crazy. It didn't bother me, I understood. Dinner was awkward though. She kept checking her phone and said she was expecting a call from the principal about parent-teacher conferences next week. Why would she be worried about a call from the principal when she is out with her husband? Send it to voicemail. We'd been at the restaurant for maybe an hour when her phone rang. She steps outside to take it, comes back and says there's a school board emergency meeting about budget cuts. They need all the teachers there tonight on Valentine's Day at 8 p.m. When I questioned her, she snapped at me. She said not everything was about me, that kids' education was at stake, that she couldn't ignore her responsibilities because it was some made-up holiday. That wasn't like her. She was never mean like that. I paid the check and we went home. She changed into her work clothes and left. I sat on the couch watching Netflix and feeling like crap. March is when everything started falling apart. Her gym schedule got even more intense. She was going every single day, sometimes twice a day. Said she was training for some kind of fitness competition. Wanted to prove to herself she could do it. I never heard her mention any competition before, but I get that people get new interest. The sex stopped completely. Uh-oh, that's a huge red flag. We went from having sex maybe 2 to 3 times a week to nothing for weeks. When I tried to initiate anything, she would say she was sore from working out, tired from work, or just not in the mood. I tried talking to her about it, asking if something was wrong or if I had done something. She said I was being needy and that not everything was about sex. I started wondering if she was having some depression or hormone issues. Suggested that maybe she should talk to her doctor. That really pissed her off. Said I was trying to pathologize her for having her own interest and not being available for sex whenever I wanted it. Maybe she was right. I don't know. I was confused as hell. Then my son got sick in late March. Nothing serious, just a stomach bug, but he was throwing up and had a fever. I had to stay home to care for him because my wife had already left for her morning workout. I tried calling her to explain what was happening, but her phone went straight to voicemail for 3 hours. When she finally called me back, I told her our son was sick and asked if she could come home. She said she was already at work about 11 a.m. by then and couldn't leave because they were short-staffed. Said she'd pick up some Pedialyte on her way home that evening. But here's the thing. I called the school around 2 p.m. to see if my wife was there. The secretary said she had left right after lunch for a dentist appointment. When I confronted her about it that night, she said she had gone to the dentist but got called in for the budget meeting early and that the secretary must have been confused about her schedule. This woman had an explanation for everything. I wanted to believe her. I really did. The breaking point came in April. I was paying bills online and noticed a charge on our credit card that caught me off guard. An Italian restaurant, $130. The date was from the previous Tuesday when she'd supposedly been at the gym until late. I looked up the place, an upscale Italian restaurant about 20 minutes away, not somewhere you grab a quick bite after working out. I sat there staring at the computer screen, feeling like I was going to throw up. All those late gym sessions, all those times her phone went straight to voicemail, the way she'd been distant, different, like she was somewhere else even when she was home. I confronted her that night after the kids went to bed. I told her about the credit card charge at that Italian restaurant, which was $130. Well, as I figured, she said she met Lacey for dinner after working out and that Lacey was going through her divorce and needed to talk. But when I asked to see her phone, the way her face changed told me everything. She got defensive, saying I was being controlling and possessive. She went upstairs and locked herself in the bathroom for about 45 minutes. While my wife was sleeping that night, I went through her phone. Her password used to be our anniversary date. She changed it, but I knew her email password. She never changed it. So I logged into her email on my laptop. What I found destroyed me. Hotel confirmations, dozens of them, going back to January. Always the same hotel, always the same day of the week, Tuesdays, when she was supposedly staying late for tutoring and grading. And then I found the photos, not sent to anyone, just saved in her email drafts. Pictures of her in lingerie I'd never seen. Pictures of her at restaurants with some dude. Pictures of them together in what was obviously a hotel room. He was younger than me and muscular, had that cocky smile that probably made women stupid. I scrolled through months of evidence of my wife's double life. All those times she was staying late at school or at the gym. All those Tuesday afternoons, she'd leave early for her workout and come home tired and distant. I felt like I was drowning. I woke her up a little after 2 in the morning and shoved the laptop in her face. She was disoriented at first. Then she saw the screen. Then it was gone. His name was Ryan, personal trainer at the gym, since January, 4 months. When I asked if she loved him, she hesitated too long before saying maybe it was complicated. She said she felt invisible at home, but Ryan made her feel alive and beautiful in ways I supposedly couldn't. Said she needed time to figure things out, time to figure out if she wanted to blow up our family for some gym bro. She started crying then. She said she never meant for it to happen, that she could end it with Ryan and that we could try counseling. But she hesitated again when I asked her to call him immediately and break it off. She said she needed to do it in person and owed him that much. She owed him that much? He and not me? I slept on the couch that night and the next night and the night after that. My wife kept going to school and the gym. I know she was seeing him, but I didn't have the energy to catch her in more lies. What was the point? We had one more conversation about trying to work things out. She said she was willing to end things with Ryan, go to marriage counseling, and save our family. But I didn't want to do counseling. No fucking way. There was no way I was going to trust her again. Really? Why do cheaters always suggest marriage counseling like that's the magic pill when they are the ones who betrayed their partner? I filed for divorce in May. She moved out in June. She said she moved in with her sister, but I'm pretty sure she moved in with Ryan. The kids spend every other week with her now. My daughter asked me why mommy doesn't live with us anymore. I told her sometimes grown-ups can't live together anymore, but that doesn't mean we don't love her. My son's too little to understand, but he keeps asking when mommy's coming home. I don't know what to tell them. My ex-wife and I are supposed to be co-parenting, but it's awkward as hell. She picks up the kids with this fake cheerful voice and asks me about work like we're acquaintances. Sometimes I catch her looking at me like she wants to say something, but she never does. I heard through mutual friends that she's still with Ryan. They're official now, whatever that means. I saw them together at my daughter's school play last month. He had his arm around her, and she was smiling that same smile that made me fall in love with her 12 years ago. Hurt like hell. Some days I can barely get out of bed, let alone think about trusting someone else with my heart. My therapist says that's normal. She says I need to process the betrayal before I can even think about moving forward. She's probably right. The way she could look me in the eye every single day and pretend everything was normal while living this whole other life. The way she could kiss me goodnight knowing she'd been with him that afternoon. How do you do that to someone you supposedly love? How do you watch someone worry about you, support you, pick up your slack around the house, all while you're betraying them in the worst possible way? I keep thinking about all the signs I missed, all the times I made excuses for her behavior, all the times I told myself I was being paranoid or insecure. My gut knew. Deep down, I knew something was wrong, but I ignored it because I didn't want to believe my wife was capable of something like this. That's what kills me the most. Not that she cheated, but that I was such a fucking fool. If you're reading this and your spouse is acting different, trust your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. Don't make excuses for them. Don't ignore the red flags. Don't be like me, sitting here at 3 a.m, wondering how the hell I ended up here. You deserve better than a partner who can lie to your face while planning their next hotel visit with someone else. We all do. One of my favorite sayings is, Never let someone make a fool out of you. Until next time.